Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable countries to disasters. It suffers from recurrent cyclones, storms, and floods. Now it is affected by a much slower and silent disaster, riverbank erosion, which is causing widespread destruction and affects thousands every year. In Bangladesh, about 1,200 kilometers of riverbanks is being eroded. More than 500 kilometers face severe problems related to erosion. It is a major concern. We interviewed this man and he said he has already moved 5 times and he will move again. He says he lost everything, his land, his livelihood, everything. In Sohali Upazila, where riverbank erosion already threatens hundreds, villagers have learned how to move their houses before the monsoon season arrives. It took 10 years for this man to move from there to here, but erosion is getting faster. Now riverbank erosion obliges them to move over here, but next year the water will be there and they will have to move again. Before, they were able to come back to their land after the monsoon. Now it is not possible anymore. The land is disappearing.
People are losing their houses here. Sometimes they try to make arrangements just to stay somewhere else. They talk to other families if they can share a piece of land. This has become a community arrangement. Sometimes they even lease private properties.
Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Riverbank erosion creates a serious land problem. Here in Hatia, in the south part of the country, hundreds of people are leaving the island and migrating inland. Hatia has shrunk from 100 square kilometers to only 21 kilometers over 300 years. Forced to settle in new and sometimes more disaster-prone areas, people try to rebuild their lives, exposing themselves to new threats, such as floods. The government is trying to tackle the problem by distributing land, the famous cash land for those who have lost land to the river. But the land is not always suitable for agriculture. Some become more miserable having lost their main source of income.
In this country, there's been an enormous amount of risk assessment and risk mapping for coastal erosion and for riverbank erosion. Now, riverbank erosion affects 100,000 people per year, with 65,000 people per year made completely landless through erosion. The sad element of this is that in some of the rivers, erosion can be predicted up to 2 years in advance. In the worst case, 1 year in advance. So we know where erosion is going to take place, and yet we don't use that information to help us manage our development. Unless we use those risk assessment tools, then we won't know what or how to manage our risk in the future.
Riverbank erosion is already a big threat, and climate change and sea level rise will only aggravate the situation. Increasing salinity of the land imperils agriculture and is another big danger. Quick action is needed now, and the threat could not be more real for those who live in the margins of society.